These are leaves from the ginkgo biloba tree. What an amazing tree it is. It's been with us 200 million years. Tree is very hardy. Some of them even survived the explosion at Hiroshima. And the shape of the leaf, it's like a duck's foot. In fact, the ancient Chinese name for the tree translates in English to duck's foot. Why? Ah, you want to show your feet? Yeah, he actually does. Look at that. It is shaped exactly like the ginkgo tree. But what is really interesting about ginkgo, of course, are the extracts that are made from it. And this refers to antiquity because the ancient Chinese have been using this for all kinds of treatments. But the one that is talked about most is memory enhancement and increasing cognitive function. The only problem with it is that there's no scientific evidence for any of that. So people take it, some say that they feel better, etc. But when you look at controlled trials, no, there is nothing there. Something new and interesting, though, is a paper that has just come out where they examined extracts of the ginkgo biloba tree in a petri dish to see what the effect would be on the replication of the coronavirus, the one we're talking about always because of COVID-19. And there's some preliminary evidence that there are compounds in ginkgo that retard the replication of the virus. But this is very, very preliminary. It doesn't mean that taking supplements is going to have any effect at all. But of course, supplement manufacturers are jumping on that bandwagon, certainly prematurely. Interesting experiment, has no practical relevance for now. But there's something else about the ginkgo leaves and the ginkgo tree. As pretty as it may be, there's a problem. And the problem is that it forms pods which encapsulate the seeds. And in the autumn, those pods fall from the tree. And if you should happen to step on those pods, there is just a horrific, horrific stench. Something like a mix of vomit, of sewer smell, and stinky socks and dog feces. That's what it smells like when the ginkgo drops its pods. It's a very disturbing smell. In fact, the dirty sock connection is an interesting one because, believe it or not, there's situation called a dirty sock syndrome. Now that refers to air conditioning ducts. And sometimes you may find that when you first turn on air conditioning in the spring, there's this musty smell coming out. Well, that musty smell is butyric acid. And butyric acid is what gives the stench to the pods of the ginkgo tree. It is also found in rancid butter. Terrible, terrible smell. But not everyone is deterred by it. Believe it or not, bears are attracted to the smell. So it's not a good idea to wear sweaty socks or a smelly t-shirt if you're out in the forest, because that will attract the bears. Interestingly enough, though, not everyone is averse to the smell of stinky socks. There are some people who actually are sexually aroused by that. And this is a very, very interesting situation. People who are aroused by body odors. I'm not one of them.